Rob with One Strange Journey, and today I want to go over the top 10 tips I have for you to survive an extreme winter. Last year we were in Montana with temperatures as low as -40 Fahrenheit. This year we're in Gray Bowl, Wyoming. We're at a KOA here. It's just us and one other travel nurse couple. Let me go over these tips and teach you what I've learned to help you survive. And in case you're new here, we're a family of 3 living in a 40-foot Sequoia redwood. And we travel around. My wife's a travel nurse. I day trade stocks and also ex-realtor. But we travel around, new assignments about every 3 months or so. All right, I'm gonna go through these tips and show you what I know. First tip number 1 is insulating. Insulating your RV is the most important thing you can worry about when you're in frigid conditions. Anything from skirting it to putting some reflectix up on the windows to covering your vent covers. My neighbors, they have their windows covered inside now. We don't have to do that, but skirting, very important because it's going to keep your pipes from freezing, going to keep your heating costs lower because that wind gets up underneath your RV, it just sucks the heat up out. Same thing with the windows. Those windows are big, giant freezers. They get so cold, they're the coldest part inside your house when it's snowing out, when it's cold out. So they just are a major heat loss. So putting reflectix up on the window really helps. Any kind of draft in your RV, you really want to look and put weather stripping wherever you can, but duct tapes, just seal everything up. So insulating your RV, number 1. Number 2 on our list is heat control. Very important for getting through these cold temperatures in an RV. So I know some RV parks have free electricity. It's built into your bill, and it's very tempting to use your electric heaters, and it's not going to cost you much. I mean, part of why a lot of us are in RVs is to save some money. But let me explain why this isn't the right way to go about it. You want to use your propane furnace as your main source of heat. Most RVs with a propane furnace, it's the ductwork down in the under area that actually keeps your pipes from freezing. So you always want to make sure this is your main source of heat. Dogs, cats, settle down. No, stop. Sorry about that. Anyways, you always want to make sure this is your main source heat that you're turning on and off for heat. You can use the electric guys as supplemental heater. You know, like if you want to go heat up a little bit warmer in the bedroom than everybody wants it in the living room, or if someone in the living room wants it a little bit warmer, yeah, go ahead, plug one of these fellas on. But don't let this accidentally control the thermostat and make the room feel hotter than it is, because then down underneath, those pipes are going to freeze. Let me take you out there and show you what I mean. They did this for a reason. They put the duct work right up against the pipes, thinking that you're going to have your furnace on in cold temperatures. And don't judge me. It's been a long season. Oh, jeez. You can see right here, that's my duct work. There's my furnace right there. And what's right next to it? All the piping. This whole cavity down here, that's where all the water pipes are at. So when we run the furnace, it keeps these water pipes from freezing. And I'm gonna go ahead and open up my gray tank. We're gonna let that drain for a little while. To recap, you wanna use your propane furnace as your main source of heat. Feel free to use space heaters as secondary sources just to kind of make it a little warmer in certain rooms if you're gonna be in them. But don't put one of these space heaters by accidentally anywhere close to a thermostat, because it'll sit here and it'll radiate that heat off of it, and the thermostat will think the room's warmer than it is. Now the way I have mine set up's a little different, and we'll go into the next part of this question, and that is to have redundancies for heat. You have more than one source of heat in case you need it. We have our propane furnace. I am busy, Luna. We have our No, you get fed in a minute. Let me finish. Anyways, we got our propane furnace as a source of heat, but the main one, my pride and joy, so I'm sure you've seen some videos on my channel, is my pellet stove. We like to keep this guy going. Keep it around setting 1 or 2, and it bakes out this RV perfect. So we don't get condensation built up with moisture. Anyways, check my other videos for that. So, like I said, we got this as the main source of heat in the RV. But if anything came up with this, if we weren't able to get pellets, if it quit running, we have our backup source, which is the propane furnace. If we had an issue with that for some reason, we have 3 space heaters. We have 2 like this, and we have this little guy here, this little oil heater. So we do have backups. Now the one problem I have that these backup sources of heat don't cure for us is they all require electricity. The way you get around that one, it's a cheap, easy fix. Get a buddy heater. I got some videos on it too. get a buddy heater. They don't require no electricity. They run off propane. You can get those little 1 pound canisters that go with it just for emergencies. You can even run it off a 20 pound propane tank, and I got a video showing how to do that. They don't require no electricity. They can be a lifesaver. If you're going to be up in these -10, -20 temperatures, worse than that in the winter, you need redundancies. If shit hits the fan in the middle of the night, you want to be able to keep you and the kids and the kitties and the doggies all nice and warm. So have redundancies. I'll put a link down there. You can get a buddy heater for under $100, and it'll be enough to keep one room perfectly baked with no electricity. A lot of RV parks have laundry rooms, they have bathrooms. Check and see what will be heated. At this park, they only keep the bathrooms heated. I've had other parks that keep the bathrooms heated and the laundry room heated, just in case something stupid happens in the middle of the night. You can go take some sleeping bags, set up in there, just to get through a night till you can go get help the next day. But it's good to know what will be heated if they, where can you fall back on for an emergency. Right, Lena? You a good girl? So you don't want these guys suffering. You don't want you suffering. If something happened in the middle of the night, take your dogs, take your cats, take your guinea pigs, if you got them. Take them all in there. Keep everybody alive. All right. And that leads into the next one. And number three is power sources. I know a lot of you are probably staying in parks like me and don't think much about it, but at least hopefully you have a coach battery. We have like a 100 amp one. It sucks. It runs like one outlet. But the other backup I have personally, if I do have a generator, it's not the ideal kind of generator. It's your construction generator. But this thing's like 5,500 watt. It could run the whole RV if it had to. So we have that redundancy. We have an onboard coach RV battery. And if you don't have those, the other idea is to get one of those little Jackery, little battery operated generators. Not battery operated, basically just a battery with an inverter built into it. But maybe at least have one of those. And they also make really small little battery chargers you can use to charge your computer, to charge your phone. Those can be very vital if you're out in the middle of nowhere boondocking, to at least be able to make sure you can keep your phone charged to get help. If your phone goes out, something happens, you always want to have backups. Oh, did I forget to give the hamster? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I gave you your food. Let's give the hamster his food. Come on, you guys, look at him. He's sitting here waiting. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Here we go. There you go. I gotta get you cleaned up. All right, that's Patches. He used to have a buddy, Willow, but she passed away not long ago. So we're thinking about, we gotta get her a new buddy. They're very social animals. Is that good? I'm so sorry. I forgot. I went outside. These animals, they can tell when it's their feeding time. Like their little clocks go off. Anyways, so very vital. Try to have at least one of those little battery backups, or I'll put one up on the screen here that I got. It's like $50, $60 or something. And it could charge a laptop. It could charge cell phones. It'd be very vital if you're in an emergency situation. The Jackery blocks are even better. They could run a heater if you had to. And then, like I said, hopefully you got a battery on your RV. That's also a big help. So always have redundancies. The biggest thing with wintertime RV is, how are we going to survive if this stops working, or that stops working, or if that stops working? Always have redundancies. You can never be too safe. All right, on to the next. Number 4 tip is to have a heated hose like I have here. This is a Camco model. It actually works very well. I've heard some mixed reviews on it, but so far we've loved it. Some areas the heated hoses will work okay. This is good to about -20 is what they say. I don't know if I trust that low, but I'll report back and let you know. But anyway, the heated hose is crucial to surviving the winter. If you don't have a heated hose, you can also just run off of your water tanks if they're heated. That works really great too. We did that in Conrad last year, and that got us through -40. And if both those won't work, make sure you have a sealed up underbelly. You can actually throw a small space heater under there, and that'll keep everything from freezing up. That's my number 4. All right, my number 5 tip is moisture control in your RV. You're gonna need a dehumidifier, especially if you use propane. When you burn propane in an RV, the fuel combines with oxygen to form a water vapor. occur. And when the water cools down or touches something cold like metal in the walls, condensation will occur. I'm going to show you a video here of how it went last year in our RV back when we were only using propane. All right, you can see here what happens when condensation gets a little high. This is from last year. So when there's condensation in the air, it will freeze to the cold surfaces, such as the window, such as the metal window frames. Even if there's metal in the walls, you'll see patches of frost go down the walls. So you can see right there in the seams in the corner, there's metal there. So the coldest spots, it'll suck the moisture out of the air and freeze it to the walls and freeze it to the window. Other areas it can build up is inside cabinets. You'll notice in the back of your cabinets, they'll start frosting up. Under a bed is a good place for there to get black mold growing. Trust me, go take a look at your mattress. I bet you got some black mold underneath the bottom of it. There's tricks to that on how to prevent that. You need airflow underneath there. Some easy things you could do is throw some pool noodles underneath there just to lift the mattress up a little bit, allow some airflow. Moisture control. Very important. If you're using propane as your main source heat, get a dehumidifier. Tip number 6, wintertime RVing. Have a capable rig that can handle the snow. My truck here, I got 2 new batteries I got before the winter. I've got battery heaters on both batteries. I got videos of that. I also got a block heater. I installed it all hooked up here to a nice little plug in the front, make hooking it up nice and easy with the old extension cord here. But you got to be ready for the winter. Get some new wiper blades on. Check your coolant, make sure it's good. Maybe replace it, and you don't want that stuff freezing up. If you have a diesel truck like mine, I also have, they put anti-gel in the fuel a lot of the time in these northern areas, but still, get yourself some anti-gel and just throw some in it just to be safe. It's not going to hurt things then. The last thing you want is it gelling up in the fuel filter and that whole drama. My truck's also 4-wheel drive, so I can get through the snow. You want to make sure you have capable tires. I have some nice snow mud rated tires. These are some Cooper Discoveries, and they are excellent in the snow, excellent on the ice. You want to make sure you have a rig capable to get through the cold. Our other vehicles, the Subaru Outback, like a 2021, that thing, man, -40, remote start, no issues at all. It doesn't have a block heater, doesn't have battery warmers, nothing, and it has 0 issues. This big beast here, being a diesel, last year in Conrad, I didn't have the battery heaters, block heater wasn't working right. She would not start below 0. This year, working a lot better. I haven't tested anything extreme below 0. I think the lowest I've started in is -3, but definitely crucial. One other tip, make sure your gas tanks, keep them at least half full, because condensation will build up inside those gas tanks. And when it does, it can corrode fuel, parts, pump, and get stuck in the lines, cause you a whole bunch of drama. Plus, you want half full fuel tanks in case you need to get out of Dodge quick. If there's a storm or something, you don't want to get hung up because you got a 1/4 tank of gas and get stuck somewhere outside the road. So keep your fuel tanks half full. That's my tip for wintertime RVing, is to have a capable snow vehicle. 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive is best. If you're not in a mountain area, it's not necessary. Also, get some snow chains if you're in any kind of a hilly area, because with ice and snow chains make the world of difference. And practice putting them on before the snow gets here, because they're a pain in the butt, trust me. I've got experience. It took me a while being from Florida to figure out how to put those things on. So number 7 on the list is weather. You gotta monitor the weather if you're gonna stay out here in the winter. You gotta know if a snowstorm's coming. You gotta know if a rainstorm's coming. You gotta know if a windstorm's coming. Or you gotta know if a hailstorm's coming. You gotta monitor the weather. It's especially important if you plan on going out and traveling the next day. If you need to move your RV, if you need to make a trip. But it can be just as important if you're staying stationary. You wanna have some kind of weather monitoring station. I got a nice one I'll show you here. And it tells me the highs, the lows, the wind speed, all that fun stuff. But it's important to know when you wake up next morning, did it get below freezing last night? It's also important to know tonight, is it going to get below freezing? Maybe you got to drain your tanks. Maybe you got to turn your tank heaters on. The weather, it's really important, a lot more crucial. Rocky, get over here. In an RV, to know what the weather's going to do than it is when you live in a home. Get one of these weather stations, or at least get one that does the temperatures. They're not that expensive. Keep an eye on what the high was, the low was outside. Also make sure the inside of your RV, the humidity's not getting too high. You might have to ventilate it. Do that in the middle of the day. That's when I do it. If I'm going to change the air in the RV, if I'm going to ventilate the RV, I usually like to do it in the middle of the day when it's warmest. Rocky, get over here. Which around here, it's like 30 degrees at noon, so that's fun. Anyways, yep, definitely important. Know what the weather's going to do at all times. Keep an eye on it. Be obsessed with the weather. Number 8, Another important one, get outside. Don't stay pinned up in that little box. I got a 40-foot RV and I'll tell you, I get cabin fever. Guy next door, he has stuff up over his windows, can't even see outside his windows. Get outside, put some layers on, go enjoy the snow, go enjoy, you know, new areas. That's why we're traveling. Even if you're doing this full time and you have to live in there, just get outside, get some fresh air. It's important. Take some vitamin D. You don't get as much sun in the winter. Sun sets earlier, we're inside more, take some vitamin D. Anyways, very important. Get outside, get some fresh air. Ah, jeez. And if you got dogs that like taking poops, most dogs take poops, I guess. Get them up before the snow covers them up, because park owners tend to frown upon that sort of thing. Anyways, it's a good reason to get your butt outside too if you're lazy like me. At least get out and take dogs for a walk, pick their poop up. All right, that'll do it with that one. What are you doing, squirrel? Where are you going? Bonus tip for winter RVing. Don't let your kids do winter sports. It means you have to keep coming outside into this stuff and starting your car up and defrosting and all that drama. Waiting for them. So yeah, try to show them about video games. That'll distract them. Video games will keep them inside where it's nice and warm, and they'll keep you, most important, inside where it's nice and warm. All right, I really hope those 8 tips help. Tried to come up with 10 tips, but we settled for 8. So anyways, I'd appreciate it if you like the video, maybe subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.